All right. Well, yesterday I saw an article about this new TV series that came out called 11/22/63. And basically, it's a TV series that they made that is about the Stephen King book of the same name, 11/22/63. Interesting, I actually read this book about a year ago, maybe a little more, and I even talked about it, and I never put it all together until I seen this new article that just came out. So basically, the whole point of this book or this TV series is about a guy who discovers that he can time travel, or he discovers a time portal, and he is going back in time to stop the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I mean, just interesting timing that they would come out with this TV series of this book. You know, we've talked a lot about the foreshadowing of Obama being assassinated, and also the connections it has to JFK and Abraham Lincoln and William Henry Harrison and whatnot. But even more interesting to tie it even all together here is that in this book, the only time that he can time travel to, whenever he goes back in time, it always starts on 9/9/1958 at 11:58 in the morning. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but I just want to go back over a lot of these connections so this makes more sense. This 9/9 of 1958. So anyway, Abraham Lincoln was shot 9 hours and 9 minutes before he died. The first president to die in office was William Henry Harrison, who was the 9th president. He also died 4 weeks and 4 days into office. Remember, Obama's the 44th president. If Obama dies in office, he will be the 9th president. So the 9th president was the first to die. Obama will be the 9th president to die, another 99. He's also 9 presidents after John F. Kennedy, the last president to die in office. So interesting, the 9 connections. William Henry Harrison was also 68 years old, and he died on 4/4. So he was only president for 4 weeks, 4 days, dies on 4/4, age 68. If you write out Barack Obama in gematria, it equals 68. Like I said, he's the 44th president. The 151st anniversary of Abe Lincoln's death is 68 days after Super Bowl 50. Lots of coding to Super Bowl 50. They're still actually doing it in news articles. Yeah, and like I said, Obama is 9 presidents after JFK, but Obama was also 44 years younger than JFK. So just another interesting 44, 99. Obama sung Amazing Grace at Clementa Pinckney's funeral in 2015. And it was 9 days after 9 people died at the Charleston church shooting. You know, Charleston, where the Civil War began. Interesting, too, I talked about Amazing Grace was written by John Newton. The founder of the Black Panthers was Huey P. Newton. The leader of the Carolina Panthers and the Super Bowl was Cam Newton. So a lot of Newton connections. But anyway, Obama sung Amazing Grace on 6/26 of 2015. If you go to April 4th, 4/4 of 2016, it's a span of 9 months and 9 days. Also, California, where the Super Bowl was played, it was founded on 9/9 of 1850. Peyton Manning beat the Bears in his 9th season. So this was 9 seasons later that he beat the team coded to the Bears. So kind of like a 99. The Broncos' first ever game was even on 9/9 of 1960. Lots of foreshadowing to Pope Francis on September 23rd this year. September 23rd, there's 99 days left in the year. Queen Elizabeth became the longest reigning British/English monarch on 9/9 of 2015. Just interesting, if you write out September 9th, it equals the same as Queen Elizabeth, 168. Or Queen Elizabeth II. 9/9 to the Super Bowl 50 was 151 days. You know, and it'll be the 151st anniversary of Lincoln's death this year in April. The halftime show had Coldplay, and they had just released a new album called A Head Full of Dreams that in gematria adds up to 151. They even have a song called Kaleidoscope on their album. and it's a minute 51 long, and it's featured Obama singing Amazing Grace. And I just mentioned that Martin Luther King had a dream. He died on 4/4 of the year 68. The album's even 45 minutes, 45 seconds long. You know, the Super Bowl date numerology was 45. Valentine's Day is the 45th day. Valentine's Day equals 151. Tons of other connections here. Ninth president to die in office in Gematria equals 151. Interesting, the 99th day of 2016 is 4/8 or April 8th, which can also be written as 8/4. Obama in Jewish Gematria equals 84. He was even born on 8/4, August 4th. Even more interesting about that day is that if you write out 99, it equals, or if you write out 9, it equals 48 and 84. 4/8, like I said, is the 99th day of the year. If you write out April 8th, it equals 68, just like Barack Obama. And 4/8 even has a date numerology of 48 this year. And I'm going to skip over all these 64, 46 stuff. It's a lot to do with civil rights and whatnot. And Chicago equals 46. Lots of coding to the Bears and whatnot. But if you write out Obama assassinated, it even equals 46. Him and Lincoln are the only two presidents politically to come out of Illinois. But what's stupid about this TV series, they're trying to do the same as the book, but in the book, it starts on 9/9 of 1958 when they go back in time, but on this TV series, they're starting on 10/21 of 1960. Like, that's when all the time travel stuff is. And I mean, they tell you in here, in this little article that was on Yahoo, that they're just trying to shave some time off and blah, blah, blah. But that's totally not the real reason. The real reason is because this is Back to the Future Day, or it's 55 years before Back to the Future Day in 2015, the 10/21. Also, look at it. They're moving it ahead in time, 2 years, 1 month, and 12 days, like the 212 that we've seen all over this year. It can even, like, 212 is Abraham Lincoln's birthday, the 43rd day of the year. But it can also be written as 12-2, kind of like 122. Just tons of references to 122 this year. San Francisco equals 122. Golden State 122. Pope Francis 122. Kansas City equals 122. Remember, they won the World Series. Kansas City Royals equals 212. Also, in regards to the 58, just a few simple things here. I've talked a lot about this number with the Black Panthers and civil rights as well, but Abraham Lincoln died in Ford's Theater, that adds up to 58. He even stayed at this hotel in his presidency to avoid an assassination. He hid out here, Willard Hotel, 58. Just interesting, the word Freemasonry equals 58. Pennsylvania Avenue is also like the main road that connects a lot of the important stuff in Washington, D.C. It's 5.8 miles long. Even a few months ago on Wikipedia, it even still said that the population of Washington, D.C. was 5.8 million. But it's not on there anymore. Interesting, Pennsylvania. I've talked a lot about Philadelphia coding. Seems like a lot of things just all go back to Philadelphia for whatever the reason. I'm assuming because of the 239 and the connection with Philadelphia and, the birth of our nation or whatever. Anyway, in regards to Back to the Future, Biff Tannen equals 85, the mirror of 58. Interesting, he won all of his money on his 21st birthday, the 85th day of the year in 1958. And also an interesting thing about Biff Tannen, the reason he won all of his money is because he stole the Gray Sports Almanac. And last year we had all of the Gray references. 50 Shades of Grey came out in Black History Month. Now we even have the stupidest movie ever, 50 Shades of Black. Just watched that the other night. Awful. It's just as awful as the 50 Shades of Grey. But anyway, you had the Confederate Army that wore the different shades of gray. But last year they killed off Dr. McDreamy on Grey's Anatomy. They even, Freddie Gray was a big story. So just pointing that out with Biff Tannen stealing the Gray's Sports Almanac. Also, if you were born in 1958 in 2016, you will turn 58 years old. So a very special year for the number 58. Philadelphia train crash equals 212 as well. Just lots of coding that went back to Philadelphia this year, and the train crash that happened at 9:23 p.m. and much more to that connected to the Pope. The Manhattan Project equals 212. Just super interesting. Lots of, coding to a new world war maybe and whatnot, and that was all because of the atomic bombs that were created in the Manhattan Project. Interesting is also plutonium-239. We're in the 239th year of the United States. Also interesting, if you write out the word 114, it equals 212. The Back to the Future Day, 2212, is 114 days. Just put these in there. Pearl Harbor equals 114, Holocaust 114, World War 114. Along with the train crash stuff, LeBron James was in the movie Trainwreck, where Amy Schumer was 9 years old in the beginning. The rest of the movie took place 23 years later. LeBron James equals 114. The King James, the guy who made the Bible, the King James Bible, he even died at the age of 58. And he was replaced by his son, Charles I. And I've mentioned lots about Queen Elizabeth dying, and if she dies, Prince Charles will be the new prince, or new king. Prince Charles of Wales equals 212. Interesting, Prince Charles equals 131, just like John F. Kennedy. Also, another 212 is that the Mayan calendar said the world would end on 12/21 of 2012. Anyway, if you go the other way and you take the new date that they're using, October 21st, 1960, and you go to the day that JFK was actually assassinated, it's a span of 3 years and 33 days, or 3 years, 1 month, 2 days. 3 years, 33 days. That just really sticks out. Philadelphia just turned 333 years old this year. And it was on October 27th of 2015, which is also the day that Back to the Future ends in 1985. Also the same day the Royals won the World Series in 1985. Also the same day that the World Series began this year in 2015. Also look at it. It's a span of 1,128 days. This year in 2016, 11/28 is the 333rd day of the year. Interesting too, 1 month and 2 days into the year is February 2nd, which is also 2/2, which this year has 333 days left until the end of the year. It's also the 33rd day. Anyway, also in this movie then, or this book, when the main character time travels back, he ends up changing his name or using a false name, and he calls himself George Amberson. And I made a video a long time ago about it. It's not really worth watching. There is a few patterns that I noticed. But this is the character. This is the guy who plays George Amberson in that movie. Interesting, he died on February 15th, 1973. And this new TV series came out on February 15th, 2016. So exactly 43 years after this guy who played George Amberson dies. Remember, 2/12 is the 43rd day of the year. Also interesting, this movie was the second feature film produced and directed by Orson Welles. But then when you read down here, it says Welles lost control of the editing of the movie to RKO, blah, 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 blah. Interesting, RKO was founded by JFK's dad, Joseph P. Kennedy. Orson Welles in Gematria equals 58. He even died on 10/10 of 85, the mirror. Also the word time traveler, or the words time traveler equals 58. So interesting, he travels back to 1958. So just another example of the foreshadowing of the assassination of Obama. One of the things I forgot to mention here about the 99 stuff, 48 is the 99th day I said, and it also has a date numerology of 48. We've talked a lot about the coding of the Super Bowl 20 and the Chicago Bears at Super Bowl XX. X is the 24th letter, so X plus X is 48 as well.